Erev Tov, good evening. Welcome, Shalom. This is our advanced Hebrew class, and we are studying the Hebrew prepositions. As I promised you last week. What I told you last week is that we will do this class on compound prepositions, and then next week we're going to do a couple of weeks of brachot, of the blessings. Basically, what we'll do is we'll put vocabulary up for you, we'll put the blessing up for you, the bracha up for you, and then you get to mix and match and see if you can come up and figure out what all of that is. We'll do the vocabulary like we're going to do in a minute. We'll do the vocabulary, and then we'll let you try to figure out the bracha. Some of you will already know these brachot, you already know these blessings because you're used to doing them, and so you'll already know these things. But still, it's good to know, to see it in the Hebrew and to know what it is that you're saying and those kinds of things. So that's what will be coming up. So we're going to be talking tonight about compound prepositions. Compound prepositions. And so basically a compound preposition is a preposition that is made of two prepositions or a preposition and a noun. Okay? So a compound preposition is a preposition made of two prepositions or a preposition and a noun. It is considered a single preposition unit. So it's considered as a single preposition. Basically, your vocabulary tonight consists of compound prepositions. So there's either two prepositions side by side, or it's a preposition and a noun, but it acts as a single preposition. Thus, this term here, considered as a single preposition unit. So these will be considered as, you notice the dash here, these will be considered as one word or one preposition. There may be two prepositions. For example, here you have two prepositions. Here you have a preposition and a noun, but it's considered to be one single preposition. Okay, so if you, the first one comes from should be familiar if you come to Shabbat and you listen to go with us through the liturgy. This is from the very first song that we sing, the very first bracha that we sing, which is Matovu. No, not Matovu. This is Lichul Rana. Okay, and so we start off the service, the Shabbat service, with this word is in the first song that we sing, the very first thing that we do. Lichul Rana Adonai Naria Litzud Yishilu. Lichul Rana Adonai Naria Litzud Yishilu. Nekama Pana Betoda Bismirut Nariyalo Adonai Elohim Gado Umele Gado Me'al Haaretz. There it is, Me'al Haaretz. Okay. Adonai Elohim Gado Umele Gado Me'al Haaretz. Okay. So that's what I'm telling you, that as you familiarize yourself with these words, with these terms, with the vocabulary such as that, you'll start picking them up in the Rachot and the Torah readings and the different things, the different aspects of the liturgy. The services, the sermons, the teachings, all of these things, you'll start hearing them, you'll start seeing them. And it'll start making sense to you. So, Lichul Rana Adonai, come and sing to Adonai. Naria Litzud Yishenu. Shout joyfully to our rock. Come before him with thanksgiving. Bismirut Naria Lo. Shout joyfully to our God. Adonai Elohim Gado. Adonai
is a great God.
Elohim Gado.
Great God.
Is a great God. Umelech
And King.
Gado.
Great.
Me'al Haaretz.
All years and all years. Me'al, is that over?
Very good. Above. But in Hebrew, it's not just above. Me'al. You have two prepositions that are stuck side by side, making one word, one single prepositional unit, which we would basically translate above. But the Hebrew phrases it just a little bit differently. So, I've already given you the first one. Alright? Everybody's a winner. You're all winners. Yay!
Yay!
What?
That means nobody's a winner.
You smell like a winner?
Everybody's a winner, that means nobody's a winner.
Oh, okay. So everybody wins, nobody wins. Okay, Josh, you lose. Everybody else wins.
Me'al?
Me'al.
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 Kind of sounds like meal too, or I don't know. Meow.
Are we doing a commercial here or what?
Sorry.
Okay. So, men. E-I. Silent.
Silent. A. Lamed.
Me-al. Me'al.
Me'al.
It's a crazy M right there. Me'al. Okay. And me'al means
Over. Above.
now what has happened here is you've taken two prepositions and you've slammed them together. Okay? So remember last week we were talking about the mim preposition. So you have here, right here, you have the mim preposition.
Without that. No,
Very good. Nun Sophie, mean.
No. Sit down there and eat that.
Where'd you go?
They're not spicy because they're
And then I gave you several weeks ago this one. Okay. So this one I gave this to you. I think the second week that we were studying prepositions. The first week we took notes. The second week I gave you some vocabulary. Okay. So al. So you have mean, me, al, mean, al. And these two words are slammed together to form a single preposition. This is a preposition, this is a preposition. So this preposition here is above, on, upon, like that. Everybody with me? Mean means, note that little thing on word there. Mean means, what does mean mean?
Two towards.
Mean? Huh?
two toward from.
From, out of.
From.
From.
So mean, from, out of.
So from above.
Very good. And this is what Hebrew is, where you would just say, where we would just say in English, above, or upon, or on top of, something like that. Okay? But al, by the way, el al. El al. El al, what is el al? El al. It's the airline, it's the Israeli airline. El al. Okay? El being to, we're told. Al being above. So basically what el al is saying is to the heights. Okay? This is where, from here, this is where we get our word aliyah, to make aliyah. Okay? If you're making aliyah, you're going up. So let us go up. Aliyah. So from everywhere else in the world, we make aliyah to Israel. Israel is considered to be above, to be higher. Okay? So from anywhere else in the world, you make aliyah to Israel. Wherever else in the world you are. Even if you're in the Himalayas. What's the highest mountain in the Himalayas? Huh? Mount Everest. Okay? Matterhorn's in the Alps. Okay? So even if you're on the Matterhorn, or not the right, even if you're on the Matterhorn, or you're on Mount Everest, or you're on Mount McKinley, or whatever, I think they changed Mount McKinley to something else. But even if any of those places you're going to Israel, it's called Aliyah. You're going up to Israel. Wherever you are in Israel, if you're going to Jerusalem, you're going to Jerusalem, then that is called Aliyah. You're making Aliyah to Jerusalem. You're going up. Now, why is Jerusalem the highest place in Israel? No, Mount Hermon is higher. Mount Geser is higher. So what? Okay, so you go up to Jerusalem. Wherever you are in Jerusalem, if you're going to the Beit HaMikdash, to Chad Zion, to Mount Zion, to the Temple Mount, then that is called Aliyah. You're going up. So understand that this term, aliyah is not positional, as in physically positional. Saying that, it's not saying that Israel is the highest place on earth physically, that Jerusalem is the highest place in Israel physically, that the Temple Mount is the highest place. It's not saying that these are the highest places. It's saying that these are high, that these are above, you're going up due to their holiness. Thus we call Israel, it's Kadosh, the Holy Land. Okay, so you're going up in holiness. When you're going to Jerusalem, this is the holy city. And so you're going up in holiness. The Temple Mount is the holiest place in all of the earth, and so you're going up in holiness. This is why it's the holiest place in all the earth. So all synagogues and such, when we're praying, when we're doing our liturgy and all of these things, we face toward Jerusalem in the general direction of Jerusalem, of Jerusalem. We face in the general direction of the Temple Mount. Who started this tradition?
Daniel. When you pray for them.
Okay. Now we don't know if he started it, but he gives us the impetus for it. He gives us the strength for this tradition, for this practice. That he prayed 3 times every day, that he would open his window towards the temple. That he would open his window towards Jerusalem. You say, but the temple is not there. Beit HaMikdash is not there. It's been destroyed. Yes, and so it was in the days of Daniel. There was no Temple Mount there. It had been destroyed. Yet he opened his window and he faced the direction of the temple every time he prayed. 3 times every day he would pray. By the way, how many prayers do we have? How many times of prayer do we have in Judaism? 3. The morning prayer, the noon prayer, the afternoon prayer. Okay? So all of these things are the things that we do. People think of them as simply as being tradition and all of these kinds of things. Well, they go all the way back to the Tanakh. They go all the way back to the prophets, to Daniel, to Ezra, to Nehemiah. All of these things. We were talking on Shabbat about not buying or selling. Nowhere in Torah does it say not to buy or not to sell. So where does this come from? Not to buy or sell on Shabbat. Where does this come from? Nehemiah, Nehemiah. And we read you the portion of scripture from Nehemiah, chapter 13, I believe it was, where he tells the people, did you do this and I'm going to put you to death. He stood guards with swords at the gate. He sent the Shomroni, the Samaritans, home, and he did this under the nose of the Jews. Okay, he shook his finger at them. Why? What does he tell them? It is for this very reason that God sent us to Babel. For this very reason God sent us to Babylon. And so he forbade them. The practice of, we'll talk about this coming Shabbat, but the practice of only walking a certain distance. I believe it's like a half a mile. Now only walking, or a couple of miles, something like that, but only walking a certain distance. That you are only permitted to walk a certain distance, a certain distance. And it was called a Shabbat distance. That you would walk what you were permitted to walk on Shabbat. And you remember that 2 of the Talmudim of Yeshua on the day of his resurrection, or after his resurrection, and it's a Shabbat, and so they're walking a certain distance because it's a Shabbat. Notice that they keep it. Where does this come from? Because it's not in Torah. Where does this come from? This comes from Ezra and Nehemiah. Why? Because people would go outside of their city, they'd go and they'd be out for an afternoon walk, and they'd get out there and they'd get to the grain field, and they'd be there looking at their grain field and admiring their grain field. No, they'd see a little weed there, and they'd pull the weed. And they'd broken Shabbat. They'd see a bug or a worm, eating on their crop, and they'd go and they pick up the worm and they'd crush it, and they broke it Shabbat. And so these are the fences. People say, well, these are just traditions. Well, okay, you can say that they're just traditions, but understand that the Nevi'im did everything in accordance with Torah, that it pertained to Torah. And the strength of it is given to us through Yeshua and through his Talmidim themselves, in that they only permitted themselves to walk a certain distance. Okay? So anyway, this is talking about Aliyah, going up in holiness and such as that. Okay, so Me'av. So we push mean. What did we say when we push mean? When we push mean together with another word, what? Drop the nun sofit. This turns to this. Okay, so it's you're following the rule. You're following the rule. Okay, so what it would say literally is from above or out of above. So when we're singing, let me go back there. So when we're saying Likol Rana, Adonai Elohim Gadol, Umelech Gadol Me'acharetz. Adonai is a great God and a great King from above. Meaning what? He's not from here, he's from above. That he's overlooking. The idea is to be overlooking. Okay? Next one. Who's got it? Wow. Mitachat. 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 Everyone. Mitachat. Again. Mitachat. Again. Mitachat. Again. Mitachat. Alright, so give it to me.
Mem. Tav. A. Het. A. Tav.
Okay. Everybody have that? So I can take it down?
Oh, excuse me.
So, mitachat. 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 Alright, so you already know this one. Okay, me. Now you have me, same thing. Okay, you're smashing the meme together, you drop the nun sofit. Okay? Me, so that means what? Tachat. Under. From under. Where in English we would just simply say under. Okay? I don't know, maybe that's a term for the Australians. They're from under. Down under, right? Next one. May. So you could just like may. Forgot the tail on the middle here. May. Give it to me. Notice this right here. Which usually acts as, on the top, usually acts as pointer to direct object. So you have me, which is, so this is the Hebrew word for saying from with or from the. Now once again, in English we wouldn't say from with. But it has the idea of taking out of that. So you're taking the mean to take out from. So from above, you're from above, out of the above. From under, out of the under. From with. Okay? Out of this. It's that kind of idea. Okay. Another cool one.
Al-Dabar.
Al-Dabar. Al-Dabar. Okay? Dabar. So this is going to run together. These two are going to run together. Al-Dabar. Okay? Yeah. Dabar. Word or thing. Okay? Word or thing. And al. Okay, give it to me. Al.
Silent. A. Lamed.
Dash.
Dal. Cut it short. Bait. A. Rich.
Al-Dabar. See, I was having to think which way does that circle go? Is it a D or a B? So it's not just in Hebrew where I get lost. I'm sitting there thinking, it's D, let's see. D. Above the thing. In essence, above the thing. This is the way you would say on account of. Yes. Because of, yes. On account of this. Because of this. Okay, your next two words are related. They should be familiar to you. Pane pani. Pane pani. Pane. Everyone say pane. Give it to me. Okay, notice the dagesh. Pane. What? Face. Very good. This is related to this. לפניך. לפני, לפניך. All of that, the root is pane. Notice the root right here. Okay?
So panim is
very good. Panim. This is panim. Everyone say panim.
panim.
Give it to me.
Hey.
Nun.
I connected to the U.
Mem sa feet.
Panim. Okay, so pane. This is singular, correct? Singular. Panim, plural. What pluralizes it?
Im.
Im. This pluralizes it. Masculine or feminine?
Technically feminine. Well, because it ends with an H, so it's singular. Ends with an A.
It's masculine.
But the last is the feminine.
Then what is this right here?
Masculine.
Then it's masculine.
It's the exception.
What it does?
Another exception.
No, because what it does not end with, is this.
Ought, I know ought, but or.
Yes, but it doesn't end with pane, it does not end with this. Watch your vowel markers. What you need could be.
I was just testing it.
Yes.
Just testing.
But rule. Whatever the plural ending is, the plural ending will always be the form. Say, the plural ending will always be the form.
But it doesn't work like that with a what.
Huh?
A what doesn't work like that.
You're right.
But there's always an exception to the rule.
There's always an exception to the rule. Okay, so let me rephrase. Almost always. There's always somebody difficult in class. Almost always the ending will be. Okay? This is going to tell you, this will tell you what it is. There are exceptions. Okay? Avot. But how many exceptions are there to this rule?
Very.
Very few. Okay, so I told you pane, panim. Everyone, pane,
Panim.
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 So that takes us to this word,
Lefane.
lifne.
Livne.
Lifne. Everyone say lifne.
Livne.
Again, lifne.
Livne.
Now, pane. What form of speech is it? What position is it?
Now.
A noun. Pane is a noun. Okay? It's an object, right? Panim is a plural noun. So these are not prepositions. So why are they here? Because you're going to smash them together with a preposition. You have a noun and a preposition smashed together, and this is a compound preposition. Which is what? Made of either two prepositions, as in me'al, or a preposition and a noun, as in lifne. Lifne. So, we already know what the noun is, right?
First one is there. Leave your name with all of these. One color.
So what's the noun? Okay, let's give it to me first.
Lamed.
I. They.
They.
Very short.
Or we can go like this actually. PH. No dagesh.
Very short. Noon. EI. Next to the U.
Very good. So it's lifne.
Livne. Livne.
Yeah.
Which means.
Lifne. It should be actually a good transliteration. There'll be a comma up there because of the.
Apostrophe. Apostrophe.
Yes, an apostrophe.
Sorry, grammar nerd here.
Just let me know. Just kidding.
Can't touch this.
Lifne, lefanecha. Lifne means before. How does it mean before? Le, to, or toward. Pane, your face. Not in a rude way, but it has the idea of in your face. Lifne. Cara a cara. Pane, le pane. Actually, that's where it comes from. Because Moshe stood before Adonai, stood before Hashem, pane le pane, face to face. Face to face. So if he's standing to his face, where does that place him?
Right there.
In front of him. Salud. In front of him. So face to face. In front. So the idea of being before, this before is positional. To be before someone is to be, yes, face to face with them. It's the idea of being face to face. All right, so if I say, okay, lifne, I use the term lefanecha. Lefanecha. Everyone say lefanecha. So now you know what this is. Le, what? Le is what? Two.
Face. How's your?
Your, very good. To your face. So the first prayer of the day, is Modeh ani lefanecha melech. Melech chai v'kayam. Okay, so Modeh ani. The idea of modeh, it's usually just translated as I thank you, but literally what it means is I gratefully yield. Okay, and the reason why it's important to understand that modeh is actually the same thing, the slamming together of two words of being thankful, todah, and to yield. Okay, so modeh is the slamming together of these two forms of thankfully yielding, gratefully yielding. Lefanecha, before you. So we would say before you, to your face. To being directional, face being the object. Okay, so my position to you is lefanecha, to your face. So when you're facing someone, lifne, lefanecha, to you. Okay, so modeh, so I'm giving you a heads up, modeh, ani, lefanecha, melekai, v'kayam. Okay, melekai, living king, literally, let's see. I gratefully yield before you, living and eternal King. So now, let's see, where are we here?
Yes.
Mifne. So if lifne is to you, mifne is
From you. No, from face. Away from you.
good. The other direction. Mifne. So give it to me.
Mem.
I. Fe.
Face. Cut it short.
Noon.
Noon.
I.
Good.
Mifne. Away from. The idea of my back is to you. Okay? Lifne is that my face is to you. Mifne is like my back is to you. I'm going away from you. I'm facing the other direction.
Does that have like negative connotation?
It cannot necessarily.
Right.
Towards God, yes, absolutely.
Right.
Okay? But like if I'm walking away from you, I'm walking away from you. Okay? Just walk away. Okay, last one for tonight.
Alpine.
Alfine.
Alfne. Alfne.
Alfine.
Happy? Alfne.
No.
Alfne.
Yes. Oh, see, that's what threw me off.
Okay, everybody slap me afterwards. Alfne. Just kidding.
No, you already said it. What did you do?
All right. No, I didn't mean that.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll give you the wet noodle that you can strike me with. Okay, so al
Above.
pne. So this is in front of. In front of. This is before. This is in front of. Okay. What the difference is, I'm not sure. I'm not that versed with that. I know lefanecha, I know lifne. This one, I'm not. I've not heard of it. It's just that.
There's a good messianic album called The Funny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's another way to practice it.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to take 5 here. Like I said, next week we're going to do some brachot. Okay, so for the next couple of weeks we're going to take, guess what your first brachot is? Don't cheat, your first bracha is Modeh Ani. That's the first bracha of the morning. So we're going to do Modeh Ani. Okay, we're going to take it apart, put it back together again, let you see it. Okay, so we'll dissect it very good. Yes. All right.